morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Turnbull coming to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. And today is day 54 of our social media 90-day run. And if you can believe it, we are just finishing up week 7 of the 90-day run. It's amazing. So we're just heading into the final 5 weeks. So we're well over halfway. And if you've been following all the way along, congratulations. That's amazing. If you're catching up and watching the replays, congratulations to you too. It's also fantastic. So guess what? I've got a big assignment for you today. It's going to be a big one. So get ready, get your notepads, get your pens, get your papers. But guess what? Today's assignment is nothing. There is no assignment today. Today is just a chance to breathe, get caught up, and just, think about, wow, what have you learned? How have you grown? And just relax, okay? Just relax, because for the next 5 weeks, if you actually want to take this really seriously, what you want to do is you'll want to start this next 5 weeks as if it is your 30-day run, okay? Your sprint, your finish. When you're running a race, if you think about any kind of race, right? You see the runners at that last circle around the track, they start to go harder and harder until they break that finish line. And so really that's what we're gearing up to do right now, is we're gearing up to go harder and harder. And so today is just about taking a rest before we start gearing up to really bring it on home. And what I'm going to do today is just to focus on a few little nuggets, okay? Because when we do our training on Tuesdays, today is Tuesday, that training is actually from the Friday training the week previous from the Accelerator program, because we are always 2 days behind the Accelerator program with Fraser Brooks and Eric Worre, because we want to give ourselves a little bit of time just to make sure we're prepared, we're caught up, we're ready to go in case we are a little bit behind ourselves. So on Fridays, there's always a Q&A, a question and answer day. And I love it because I get to just listen and take a lot of notes and learn a lot of little nuggets that are not necessarily part of the course. So I'm going to share a few things that I learned from this Friday's Q&A, okay? And let me see. All right, fantastic. So let me go ahead and share a couple of things that I have learned from day 54. So, sometimes when you are messaging someone, and you can use something, called the parrot principle. I call it the mirror principle. When someone is responding by asking for a call, you do a call. If they're just doing text, you just do text. So sometimes, you want to match the person's style, their tone, their manner, their length of time in between messages. So for example, if you message someone and they take 2 days to get back to you, even if you're always online and you see their message, don't respond to them 1 second later if they've taken 2 days to get back to you, right? Just give it a little bit of breathing time. It doesn't have to be 2 days, but give it a bit of breathing time, okay? Now, one thing I loved hearing Fraser talk about is that he interviews 5 to 10 people every single week, people who are really doing well on social media, and I ask them questions about what's working for them, what's working right now, and that really helps inform him a lot of what he's also seeing out there in the marketplace and what he's learning. And so one of the interviewees that he interviewed this past week, he was sharing, because here's the thing, we've all learned a lot, right? We've done different techniques, different tactics, and what may work for one of us may not work for another one. Okay, so you use the ideas that work for you. When you test them out, you see what works, right? What works for me may not work for you. What works for Chris may not work for Whatmaster. What works for Dr. Izzy may not work for Tammy. So we just see what works for us. right? Dr. James has a style all his own. What works for him may not work for someone else. So um, so what Fraser finds is that when he interviews all of these people, he finds that everyone has different things they do and different strategies they do, but they all work. So this was something that I really enjoyed hearing about. This was one of his interviewees, and what she does is she's created a little video. And if you're competent at creating little videos and you can do something, maybe even get your team leader or someone who's really experienced to take a look at it just to see if it's, if it's fine, if there would be any suggestions they would make for you, then you could also do this. But even me, I'm thinking I need to do this. So she sends out a little video that she's created. We always say work with a tool. So I will tell you what I'm tending to work with if I want to have someone see the presentation. I work with our 20-minute presentation tool that I recorded that has about 10 minutes product and then about 10 minutes business. But even 20 minutes in today's day and age is quite long. Okay, so I would really love, and I'm going to work on it, to create a very short little tool that might be, 3, 4, 5 minutes maximum that does product and business. Okay, Sir Java did a great one a few years ago with his team. It's a little bit out of date now with our business, but it was so great at the time. So I want to do that for me. Mine is not going to be highly produced like Java's was. It's just going to be me talking. And remember, when you're talking to potential business partners, potential customers, it's nice if they actually see you. It's fine, right? But if you want them to see me, or you want them to see Wattmaster, if you want them to see Dr. Izzy, it's also fine. Whatever tool you're comfortable using, it's also perfect. But just remember, you can possibly create your own tools as well. I would just say that if you're not super experienced, let's have one of us take a review so that we can give you some guidelines as well. But here's what I loved about this idea of the tool. So the three questions that any of us should be answering whenever we're talking to prospects, and when I say we should be answering, I don't mean explicitly. I mean in how we're answering questions, in the tools that we're sharing. So the questions that potential business partners would have are this. All right, what do I need to do? Can I do it? And will it be worth it? So what this particular past student of Fraser's does, who's killing it in social media, I can't remember if this was the one, but one of his past students is made his highest check in the last year was $1.2 million as a commission. So that's pretty, for a month, okay, that's pretty significant. So if you think about those questions, okay, if you're creating a little video, what do I need to do? Can I do it? And will it be worth it? So the what do I need to do is usually, the basics, the product, and how you promote the product. So if that were me, I would, I've actually had to get really, really good at something so short, because I've joined a networking group called BNI. It's a global networking group. And the first time I presented, all of us get, depending on which group you're a part of, you get anywhere between 20 or 30 seconds and 2 minutes to do your pitch, your elevator pitch, right? So I had to get really good at putting a lot into a short amount of time. It's amazing what you can actually do in 20 or 30 seconds. I never thought I could. So I would give, if I was looking at that, I would give the very basics of the product, and then I might share how you would talk to someone about the product, right? Very, very simply. So for example, you meet someone who needs better health in their life. You could say, you know what, I'm working with a US company right now. They have an incredible product that's really helping a lot of people with health issues like yours. I think it can also help you. If I sent you something, would you look at it? And I had someone the other day who said, oh, I'm not so good at marketing. And I gave her that little spiel about how you talk to people, then you send a tool, and then how you follow. She was like, oh wow, I could do that. So that really answers the question, can I do it? What do I do? Well, here's the product, it's incredible, and here's how you talk to people about it. Super simple. Oh, I could do that. She felt so confident, so easy. And then can I do it and will it be worth it? Those are the other two questions to answer. So will it be worth it is usually some basic element of the compensation plan, okay? Very basic element of the compensation plan. So sometimes what I will do is I will say, you know what, when you have a customer, you can earn this much per customer between your retail profit and your commission from the company. And then as you're building a team, a lot of people want the business as well as just using the product. As they also are using the product, as they also are having a few customers, you can be earning up to, and I might say up to $40,000 a month, because that's what our compensation plan is, and even more. So I would keep it super simple, but you could do the basics of the compensation plan. And then can I do it, maybe a story or two about people who have been able to achieve, or your own stories, your own testimonies, your own how you got started, some kind of story or two. All right, so what she does is she sends out that video, all right, when she meets people on social media. And at the end of the video, this is what I really liked. She says, you know what, you're going to be in one of three places right now. Number one, you're going to say it's not for me. You can just shut this down right now. We never have to talk again. But just remember, you are looking for something for a reason. And if you want your life to change, then something has to change. Because if you just shut this down right now, it's fine, you can do that. But what will actually change in your life? So, she kind of gives you can say no, but with a warning. And then the second one is you can get started right now, and tells them how to start. And then the third one is you may have some questions. If you've got questions, I can send a link to a short video where I've answered just about every question you can think of. And if you still have questions after that, we can talk. All right, so she kind of automates this process. By the way, the questions video is she answers the 5 most commonly asked questions. She doesn't answer 500 questions for an hour, right? It's a very short video. She answers a few frequently asked questions, and she said, if you still have questions after this, let's schedule a quick call and we can go through whatever questions you still have. And, since January this year, she signed up 115 people, and it's a semi-automated process. So she kind of qualifies people through this process, and this is a social media process. So what I'm finding for me, really having expanded my social media a lot, is that I'm talking to a lot more people, and I don't always have conversations with them up front, which I always used to do before, because I'm meeting them on social media. I might be sending them a link, I might be sending them a presentation, I might be sending, information. And so I found that kind of interesting. To kind of structure maybe what I'm thinking about a little bit more. So I might be looking at something like that. Now, in today's world, I think we've talked about this before, but in today's world, what Fraser is finding is that TikTok has been is the best for customer acquisition. Instagram is the best for building your brand, and Facebook is still the best for recruiting. All right. Now, interestingly, I was seeing quite a bit of news today about TikTok and how, for example, in Canada, the governments are banning TikTok from any government devices. So any government employee, their devices are locked down. They cannot use TikTok. They're banned from being part of it. And a lot of countries are starting to think about TikTok, and is it something that they want to allow? They're concerned about security and privacy and the rest. For me, I never worry about those things too much. So I'm still using TikTok. I'm still really enjoying it. And definitely it is the fastest growing platform for marketing. Okay, so it's definitely still very much in use. Now, all right, what else? So if you think about TikTok as a customer acquisition and Instagram as a brand builder, Facebook as recruiting, Facebook, you can do a lot of work in groups, which I've been enjoying. And TikTok, think about, if you want to think of that for customers, you can think about what content would I be creating that would be specifically for customers, right? And then Instagram, if that's your brand building platform, think about what is your brand, what do you want to be known for, and then you can start doing more and more of that on Instagram. I'm definitely not so clear cut on all of that, and it's not necessary right now. I'm still just a baby. I'm still getting there, growing, learning, but over time we can think about those things. Now, one thing which is, I finally got kind of conked into my head about hashtags. So TikTok, Fraser always uses 4 hashtags. I might use 4, sometimes 5 if I need an extra one, but always uses 4 hashtags. 2 will always be really big. And when you start writing your hashtag on TikTok, for example, I think it even happens this way on Instagram as well. But when you start writing your hashtag on TikTok, you can see how many times it's been used or how many times it's been viewed. So you can see what a big hashtag is or a small one. So for example, I sometimes use Together We Can, or opportunities, or even my maximum impact. I always use that one because I'm trying to build that as a hashtag as well. And so you can see how many times that's been viewed. I'm also, for me, I use Anne Turnbull on TikTok as a hashtag, which of course is very small because it's not out there yet, but hopefully over time I will build that as well. And so think about 2 big ones, 2 smaller ones. But the interesting thing, and I'm starting to do this as of this week because of what I've heard from Fraser. It's the 2nd or 3rd time I've heard it, so I'm going to just pay attention. And that is that we do not need hashtags on Instagram or Facebook. Okay, we don't need hashtags at all. So the only place that they're useful is on TikTok. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start adopting, just in case you want to adopt the same thing. Then couple of other things, okay? As you start getting more prolific on social media, I know sometimes people are worried about this, and it's been interesting for me. I'm not worried about it, but it's been interesting. You know, you will have people come out of the woodwork, people who are friending you or sending you messages or just coming up to you in social media, and you're going to have this feeling something is not right about them. Okay, just trust your gut, check their profile. I'll give you an example. Well, of course, I had a very horrific example a few weeks ago. My first time in 13 years having happened to me. I won't tell you what it was, but picture a very graphic image, which I did not want to see. That was really weird. But even like this past week, somebody sent me a connection on LinkedIn, which is supposed to be the professional platform. And then where else? So anyways, on LinkedIn, and I said, oh, thank you. You know, how did you happen to, oh, I think he sent me a message on WhatsApp. I said, oh, how did you get my number? And I had seen he sent me a message on LinkedIn, but I checked his LinkedIn profile. There was no photograph and 1 connection, okay? And so it felt like it had just been created. It wasn't even a real profile. Then he messaged me and I said, oh, thank you so much for the message. May I know your name? How did you happen to get my number? A friend referred me. I want to do business with you. A friend referred you. Oh, fantastic. Can you let me know who the friend is? He prefers to, or they prefer to remain anonymous, he said. And I said, well, I'll need to know the friend's name. You know, and he wouldn't give me the answer. And then I said, well, can I have your social media handles? Do you have Facebook or Instagram or any other? And so he eventually gave me a Facebook handle. He said he's an aviation student. Eventually he gave me a Facebook link. I checked out the profile. I saw he had just put an aviation picture that like 5 minutes ago as his profile picture. And it just seemed completely suspect. The whole thing completely suspect. So I'm ignoring him. In fact, I should do more than that. But I haven't yet told him I'm not doing any business or anything with him. But here's what a lot of people are getting: a lot of fake profiles or weird things. If you think they're weird, okay, delete them as a friend immediately. If they're a friend anywhere in your social media, delete them as a friend or unfollow them. Delete or, hide their messages and then block them, okay? So that they can't be connected to you, they can't be putting messages on your social media. All right, in fact, I should do that with this person because I just don't have a good feeling. And I've had quite a few that I don't have a good feeling about, and that has not happened to me like this in 13 plus years. So I don't know, I guess the more I'm active, the more we're all active, the more we're going to see these kinds of things happen. And then the last thing I wanted to share as a little tip before I close off is, if anyone ever talks about your product, okay, being expensive, then what you want to do is you want to create what's called a stack of benefits, okay, a stack of benefits. I'll give you an idea of what a stack of benefits is. So right now, I am creating a 90-day weight loss challenge here in Kenya. And I've put it together. It's not from the company, but I want to stimulate something. And so people will say, oh, that's expensive for a product. I said, yes, but guess what? You're not just getting a product. You're getting a community of support. We're going to be in a special WhatsApp group, so we'll hold each other accountable. We're going to have fun. We're going to have tips and motivation every day. We're going to have nutrition guides. We're going to have some recipes here and there. We're going to have prizes and fun. So it's not really expensive because we're getting all of this. So I'm stacking up all the benefits. But even with our regular product, right? So let's say if someone went to the store and they bought a product, right? Even potentially, wherever they buy a product, okay? They're not going to get you, they're not going to get your customer service, they're not going to get your follow-up, they're not going to get your tips, they're not going to get your ongoing testimonies, they're not going to get someone willing to talk to their potential friends or family who might be interested in the products. So there's a lot of benefits that people get when they buy the products from you, right? They get access to a community, they get access to support, they get access to a lot of information, right? So you can stack the benefits if anyone has a concern about expense or anything else. All right, so that's everything for today. So remember, what is our assignment for today? Guess what? It's nothing. You can just relax, chill out, think about how you want to tackle the last remaining 5 weeks. All right, let's do it in a big way. Let's bring it home. Let's do as much as we can so that we are changing the game for ourselves and for our team members. All right, everyone, thank you. Have an awesome rest of your day. Bye.